Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 44 of our Journeyman series here on Football Coach College Dynasty. I have gone through the rest of the preseason off stream, as it is, in my opinion, the most boring part of the season, and we are ready to begin the 2038 season, our third season at Alabama. So far, we are 2 for 2 on winning the national title at Alabama, and we're looking to three-peat. I am very excited. The plan of attack for today is to get through the majority of the games. Here is our schedule. We will open today at number 16 Arizona, then home against Mizzou, Texas A&M, who is coached by one of our former coordinators, and then Florida, who's proven to be a difficult opponent, at Vanderbilt, and then our second out of conference game home to number 12 Army. They had a very good season last year, making the playoffs. And then we are at Ole Miss, and I think that will be the final game today. If we get to the game against Tennessee, that'll be very exciting. And then we're at Oklahoma, and then home to number 6 Michigan. That'll definitely be a tough opponent. Home against Kentucky, and then number 14 Auburn to close. Once again, I don't know how Auburn keeps being ranked at the start of their seasons. I guess they're more talented now. They're just going to go 7-6 again. But that is where we stand in terms of schedule. Let me look at donor promises here. So, donor promises, 3 diamond donors. First one, win against Tennessee, Auburn, or Army. Second is win the division, and third, beat Auburn. In other words, we beat Auburn. We get 2 of those locked in. We have 4 gold donors. First one, pass for at least 370 yards in at least one game. Beat Auburn again. Beat Tennessee, Auburn, or Army. And then finally, win against Vandy, Mizzou, and Ole Miss. So we need to win all 3 of those to get the final gold donor. And then our 2 silver, have our offensive line record 100+ pancakes. That is for both of them. I only had to do 1 negotiation this time around because I thought all the others were doable and worth a decent amount of money. I just wanted to make both silver be the same thing. So if our O-line gets 100 in total pancakes, we should be in business. For reference, looking at last year, I don't believe it is a stat that is tracked, so it's time to do some quick maths here. That gets me a little over. Oh, yeah, we easily got over 100, so we'll see how we do, though granted, our offensive line is worse than last year. To that end, let's do a quick look at the team. On offense, only 2 big position changes are quarterback and offensive line. Quarterback, obviously, true freshman, 5-star Javier Agustin is going to be our starting QB. I debated redshirting him. However, I have it set to draft eligible after 3 years, and with his overall already being so high, he's definitely going to declare for the draft after 3. So I would rather play him for 3 years than lose him as a redshirt sophomore. So Javier is going to be my starting QB. This is very unfair on 89 overall Jesse Funk and 85 overall Emmanuel Cole. Hindsight being 2020, I should have released, one of those 2 players, but is what it is. I might give Jesse Funk a start just because he is a senior. Running back room is exactly the same to what it was 2 years ago. Jackson Conrad up top, Caesar Dixon behind him, and then Aaron Middleton rounding out the starting group. Harrison Shaw will likely get a decent amount of reps. At the moment, he has been paid just over $2.2 million before he has stepped on the field. So I'm going to get him some reps. I'll probably give him a start somewhere just to see what he can do. Wide receiver room is very similar to last year. Carson Tam, Marvin Wall return as our 1-2 punch up top. Hayden Banks, the true freshman, is our third wide receiver. And then Avery Leonard, Francis Mack, and Francisco Askew round out that list with converted tight end Kyle Westbrook off the bench. Speaking of tight end, at the moment, I am going with three tight ends. Tony Allison up top, obviously. He's one of the best tight ends in the game right now. 93 catching, 110 strength. A phenomenal guy. Should I have moved him to O-line? Maybe. Cade Long behind him, 96 catching, 83 speed, 86 strength. Very, very solid. And then Caden Polk, third tight end. He is a jack of all trades, master of none, mid 70s, high 60s all around. He has also been promised 30% snaps. We'll see if he gets that as a third tight end. I might drop down to two tight ends, especially if Allison and Long are not getting the stats that they should. Offensive line, it is a doozy. The only top last year's top 7 offensive linemen, the only one returning is Landon Haley up top. Everyone else was either a depth option or a transfer. Irvin Titus transferred. Dylan Reynolds was redshirting last year. Donald Bolton transfer. Brody Jacobson, depth option, barely played. Same thing with Marquise Craig and George Roberson. We're counting on a lot of these guys on the back end. Even transferred Joey Pruitt currently is not part of our starting 8. So, a little worried about the back end on the offensive line, but it should be okay. It also should be noted, 89 overall JUCO Lance Davies is currently redshirting. If he complains about playing time, I will likely take off his red shirt and slide him in as either the 5th or 6th offensive lineman. We'll see. But I would rather give some of these guys some reps and hopefully get him another year of eligibility. Defensive line is the group I am most worried about on defense. Leo Ball up top obviously is phenomenal. We're very strength heavy, this group, with Jorge Peters also over 100, Lawrence Mosley at 97. Luke Parker has our lowest strength of the bunch at 84. So we're a pretty strong group. We do, however, have zero depth whatsoever. Jacob Gulati is going to play as a true freshman as our 5th defensive tackle. And then Darian Pitts and JUCO Giovanni Blue will round out that group. Linebacking room, I am cautiously optimistic. We have a lot of young guys. Hudson Dalton, who redshirted last year, true freshman Trevor Bush at the 5 spot. Julius McNeil coming off an award-winning first-team all-freshman linebacker season, rounding out this group of 6. And then a bunch of players for depth. Cornerback room, I think if one of my top 3 guys gets injured, we're in deep trouble, but barring that, we'll be okay. Trevor Lucas, high speed, high man. Daniel Payne, high speed, high man. Damian Wade, high speed, high man. Gilberto Frank is our zone specialist. Eric Clemente, another one of the man guys. If Clemente isn't, doing too hot, if he's allowing a lot of targets, then redshirt freshman Donovan Yoder is going to take his spot as another zone specialist. And then at safety, we have returning safeties, Paul Wilcox, Joel Bellamy, and Trent Butler just rerunning the starting group. And then at kicker, we keep good old Abraham High as our redshirt sophomore kicker. To that end, that is our team. Overall, really happy. The thing that might hurt us a little bit is if we suffer an injury on offensive line or defensive line, the depth there might get a bit shaky. Other than that, this team should have no problem making a run in the playoffs. End of sentence. I have made many player promises, as you can see. 8 player promises of which 7 of them have to do with snap percentage. The only players that should have trouble getting the snaps, Hudson Dalton might not get 40%. He's currently slotted in as the fourth linebacker. I might have to do some finagling in certain games there. And then the other big one, obviously, is Caden Polk, who I may just punt on his and take a 10-point integrity hit because I'll make that up if everyone else is happy. The athletic director goals are to make the playoffs and finish ranked in the top 3. That has been the goal every year I've been at Alabama, and so far we have surpassed it. I will get to the draft risks once we are 4 to 5 games in, just so that list looks cleaner and the seniors disappear. But first things first, our opener in Tucson, Arizona, we're taking on the Wildcats and their quarterback, JUCO Donovan Sellers. If his name looks familiar, it's because I tried to recruit him. And last year, it looks like they gave him a red shirt. I am so happy that the AI has been redshirting JUCO players more just to get that other year of eligibility. 100 arm strength. He has a cannon. How's their running back room look? Their running back room looks nice. They have a receiving back who has only gotten 7 targets his whole career. Once again, this reaffirms that receiving back is a useless archetype in this game. But that is what it is. So in that case, we are going to work on stopping their passing game, and we're definitely going to need to work on our downfield passing game as we have a true freshman in at QB. We'll see how everything goes. Your rankings here to start the season were number 1, OSU is 2, Fresno State 3, Notre Dame 4, and Baylor rounding out the top 5. The SEC, it looks like we're going to be really strong once again. Georgia's 9, Florida's 15, Tennessee, Auburn 13, 14 respectively. Mississippi State is 8, Texas is 11, and A&M are 24. So pretty good. All things considered, the conference remains competitive. We are favored by 10.5 points. And this is the first time that Arizona and Bama have met in the sim. We will call tails as it never fails. Except the times that it does. All right, Arizona defers. I have noticed the AI deferring a lot more recently, which I am fine with. We are going to open with a deep pass. And it got 14 yards. We're unstoppable. Will we ever be stopped? He says, as it's 3rd and 6. It's fine. Like I said in the previous video, I think we're going to, even though our scheme, quote unquote, is run first, we're still going to be a pretty pass-heavy team, just by nature of the wide receivers that we have. That sack there did not help things, and we shall punt. Yeah, we got a sack, Luke Parker. Thank you, sir. Let's blitz him again. Didn't work, but a 3 and out. I'll take that. The run game failed miserably, and Javier is sacked again. Not great. Send the blitz. They got that. All right, looks like Arizona is going to draw first blood. They beat my blitz. They ran it to the outside. They got their touchdown. Okay. Not a great start. We have certainly had better. 3rd and 1. I'm just going to run it up the middle. Thank you, Jackson. And there we go. Carson Tam, 48 and 49-yard touchdown. That'll do. That helps. They dropped a deep pass when I did essentially an engage 8. You like to see that. True freshman Hayden Banks, with his first reception of his career, goes 60 yards. We're back. Jackson Conrad runs it in. 14-7. However, they just got like 4 first downs in a row. That's neat. And they got a touchdown on 3rd and 12. Not looking great for our defense. Yeah, I'll punt. Oi! 34-yard punt return. I'm jealous. There we go. Francisco Warren forces the fumble. Lawrence Mosley recovers. We're going to go on up tempo here to try to score another sack. Man, Caden Polk with the reception, justifying his place on the depth chart, perhaps? Maybe. 2nd and 7, let's run it once. There we go. That gets us to the 1. Aaron Middleton runs it in. Good job, lads. 3rd and 2, I'm going to blitz. Nah, they got it. All right. Man, they are just crushing us. But they don't get the touchdown. They have to settle for the field goal. There we go. Good blitz. Defense gets the stop. And we're at the 2. Oh, boy. There we go. Conrad gets us through. And then he went backwards. We punt. Not looking great. We've certainly had better games. That goes without saying. There we go. Defense has gotten a couple stops. Marvin Wall, 46 yards. We're cooking. Gets us to the 10. All right. Field goal. Back to 7. And they punt. Okay. Overall, we're definitely playing better in the 3rd quarter. 3 straight incompletions, however, less than ideal. They got the conversion, but they don't get it there. All right, let's try running the ball a bit more and actually gain some yardage. Thank you, Caesar. Thank you, Caesar. 54-yarder seems ambitious. I'm just going to punt it and hope we burn them. All right, burned them at the 5. Good job, lads. Ah, they converted the 3rd and 4. Unlucky. All right, they're going for it on 4th and 2. I am not going to blitz, but I'm going to bring the safety down as a spot. They got it. They ran to the outside. All right, 1 minute, 5 seconds left. I am going to turn on automated clock in case they get it. The AI can call a timeout. But they don't. Eric Clemente, who I said could potentially be benched if things go poorly, gets the interception in the end zone. I'm just going to make them burn all their timeouts. We'll punt. And that is that. That is a win. We beat Arizona 24-17. We were 2 of 10 on 3rd down. Not great. Augustine did okay, I would say. 327 yards. Averaged 12 yards a pass. Got a touchdown, which was nice, but our run game just did not have it, especially Caesar. He got stopped quite a bit. Yeah, this was my fear with playing 3 tight ends. Polk and Long both got 1 target. Allison only got 2. We got 12 tackles for loss, which was huge. They had 3 sacks, but they had 2 on that first drive. So after that, our O-line decided they wanted to try. All right, a good win against a pretty good Arizona team, it looks like. I'll be interested to see how they finish. Hey, maybe they'll just, run the table and we'll meet them in the quarterfinal of the playoff. I wouldn't hate that. And no new injuries. We love to see it. All right, let's talk recruiting. So, in terms of recruiting, we don't really have that many big needs. If you look at our breakdown here, 40% of our program are freshmen, only 15% are seniors. We do have some draft risks, which I'll get to in a few weeks when the list looks clean. But overall, I think the areas we really need to bring people in are our front seven, just developing that depth. Even though I have six freshman linebackers, they're not all great. And then definitely corner and safety also, because especially with how good our top corners are, they won't be here for too long. And then just classic offensive line, wide receiver, et cetera, et cetera. In terms of the top talent we're going for, safety Rohan McKinney, who at the moment I plan to keep at safety instead of moving him to corner. There's another safety that I think I'll move, but he's just got great coverage ability, solid tackler. We're 2,000 points ahead already. He is the number one recruit in the class, by the by. Number five overall recruit, linebacker Colton Lester is already mid high 80s on defense. Really good coverage guy as well. Athleticism is solid. He's a guy that I can put at like our third linebacking position as a true freshman and not have to worry about it at all. And then the number one running back in the class, running back Brennan Curtis, who need I say more? He has 97 ball carrier vision, 92 ball security. That's as a recruit. He could have 100 ball carrier vision and ball security by the time he steps on the field. This is the greatest running back prospect I have ever seen. And he has 87 speed and 94 evasion to go with it. I am going to be in a knockout, drag out fight with OSU for him. I will pay this man $5 million because even if he goes for the draft, 3 years of a running back of his caliber, very much worth it. The number one O-line JUCO prospect, Spencer Crow, 82 strength, mid-70s blocking ability, and he has A potential, which you don't see a lot in JUCO. He'll be able to give us a solid boost. I'm also going for a backup kicker, Raul Irving, because why not? And then rounding out the 5 stars, 5-star D lineman Sean Willem, who is the second overall recruit. I mean, he's not great. 85 block shedding and 82 strength obviously are really good, but his IQ is pretty low. He has very little pursuit ability, but A plus potential. Can't really go wrong with that. And then a couple other players of note. JUCO tight end Anthony Cheney is essentially Polk, but just slightly better. He'll probably fill in a backup tight end role for me next season. Kyle Barton, who, let's get the obvious out of the way, has D minus potential. However, I'm going to move him to corner. I think the speed is a little concerning, only 71 speed, but his coverage ability is fine, and I don't need to worry about the tackling when I move him to corner. The D minus potential hurts a bit, but he'll redshirt a year, no issue. And then the only actually no, we're looking at two athletes in this class. First one, Martin Broussard, who I am having at safety. Let me scout him one more time. He's another guy that maybe you could move him to corner and be kind of okay with it. But I really like his IQ and he has better potential, so I have more faith in that tackling increasing than I do with Barton. And then our second athlete is linebacker Troy Boyd, who, classic low mid 70s and everything. Okay coverage ability. I really do think he could develop into a really, really key contributor for us in a couple years. And then other than that, you just got your high potential, A minus, A options routing out the back. I am going for Raymond Jenkins, who is a 3-star corner and isn't great. I mean, his IQ is in the 50s. He has no strength whatsoever, so that tackling is essentially irrelevant. But he's okay in coverage, got okay speed. Redshirt him for a bit. Maybe he impresses me. Who knows? So let me just sort by points ahead and get some visits scheduled. All the guys I'm not close with, we'll just schedule them as soon as possible so that they sign ASAP. Martin Broussard, you were at Florida. Leonard Yancey. Auburn is away this year, which is unfortunate. D line. Let's build out that A&M game a little. And that's it. Did A&M lose? Is that what I saw? 'Cause they're not ranked anymore, which would be a shame. But yeah, as you can see, we're ahead on almost all of the recruits. And the only one we're not, I haven't even offered him a scholarship yet. So I anticipate us getting a majority of these recruits. OSU is going to fight us for a lot of them, but we were able to make it through last year's recruiting by barely spending any NIL money at all. So, and we had a little bit left over after the transfer portal. So I think I'm going to spend a bit more in recruiting just to guarantee that we get some of these big guys. That's my current plan, at least. We'll see how it goes. Oh, I did want to mention the quarterback that I am going for is Raphael Miles from Trenton, New Jersey, who is just your classic, well balanced, low 70s, loyal guy. I mean, he's here to be a backup, but in let's say we get 3 years of Javier, that means Raphael gets a red shirt and another 2 hits of development before he even sees the field. He could potentially, get some reps. We'll see. So that is recruiting. Let's look at Mizzou. They lost their opening game to UCLA. I'm gonna be honest. It's a bad look. They got Ashton Fulton at QB after sitting him for 3 years and paying him over $1 million. Fair enough. Interesting. He wants to be a star, but he never threatened to transfer. Why can't I get lucky with that? He's got really good IQ, solid arm strength. Okay. Not too afraid. What's the running back room looking like? Not great. I mean, Quinton is solid. Griffith is solid. They just can't run, which probably tells me, yeah, their offensive line. They don't have anyone in the 90s. Doesn't look too bad of a team, though. Dang, they got some top wide receivers also. Mizzou, how did you lose to UCLA? We're going to work on our running game and stopping their passing attack, I think. I really need a bounce back game from Caesar, or else I'm going to flip him in Middleton so fast. We have no recruits visiting this game, and insofar, Bama has beat Mizzou every single time. Mizzou calls heads, and they're right, and they defer. Well, we're 2 for 2 on going first. 2nd and 1, let it fly. 20-yard pass, that'll do. The run game is looking nice. There we go. We got the first, and we're at the 1. Conrad runs it in 7-0. See, where was that all of last game? And big man interception. Jorge Peters picking off Ashton Fulton. How big is Jorge? 300 pounds, 6'3". Look at our big boy getting the interception. Good on you, lad. And Avery Leonard over the top for a touchdown 2 plays later. We've never been so back. Safety blitz. It didn't work. And another interception. Joel Bellamy this time around, the backup safety. Well, backup. He's our 3rd safety. Ooh, they're going for it on 4th and 3. Respect. They lost 3 yards. They lost 3 yards. Well, not looking great for good old Mizzou. And Javier showing off some running ability with a 13-yard touchdown scramble. Okay. I mean, he does have running ability, to be fair. 82 ball carrier vision, 76 speed. So we could get back to the option. And Marvin Wall, 83-yard pass. Oh no, they did engage 8 when I did Y stick. That's rough. And Javier runs it in again. Do we have like the greatest quarterback? Probably not, but still. And they punt again. All right. What is the hypothetically? What's the pass yardage I need to hit for the promise or for the donor? 370, and we're already at 228. Well, I think we're gonna get it this game. I have a sneaking suspicion as Cesar Dixon runs it in. We're up 35-0. This is unfortunate. At what point should I feel bad for Mizzou? Yeah, now Aaron Middleton gets a touchdown. We're just gonna keep going, man. Oh no! And they ended on a strip sack. Jorge Peters forces Leo Ball recovers. Oh boy. Will Mizzou score this game? Place your bets, folks. They missed the 48-yard field goal. There goes that. And Javier again with a 10-yard touchdown scramble. Javier's stat line right now, passing 17 of 19, 315 yards, 1 touchdown. Running, 4 carries, 22 yards, 3 touchdowns. Well, I don't do like conference and national player of the week in this game, but if they did, Javier is gunning for the SEC and National Player of the Year or Player of the Week. There we go. Marvin Wall gets us bubble screen. We're getting touchdowns on bubble screens for crying out loud. Oh boy. And that is that. The backups are now in on offense. Jesse Funk showing up. And we're at the 1. Harrison Shaw with his first carry of the season and his first carry of his career. 1-yard touchdown. That is funny. All right. How many passing yards are we at right now? 402. Cool. All right. So we've locked in the donor goal. Now I think we'll just run it quite a bit. The jet sweep failed. We get to 3rd and 6. Have we punted yet this game? Oh, yeah, we did. Our third drive was a 3-and-out. Okay. So listen, I didn't give him enough credit. I didn't think we'd punted. But I was wrong. 2nd and goal at the 2. Surprise him with the Y stick. It didn't work. Middleton runs it in, though. We have gotten to 70. And that's game. Well, yeah, we beat Mizzou 70-0. We averaged 15 yards a pass, 7 yards a run. That'll do. Javier's final line, 20 completions out of 22 attempts, 362 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries, 22 yards, 3 touchdowns. Insanity. Actual insanity. No tight ends were targeted the whole game. Make of that what you will. 12 tackles for a loss by our defense. Man. 10 extra point kicks. That's crazy. Well, there we are. Oh, boy. I know that doesn't say that both Kobe Wesley and Cade Long are likely out for that's not what that says. That's not. If we just look away, that's not what it says. All right, so tight end, this is easy. We're shifting down to 2 tight ends. And Griffin person, I'm fine with you losing your red shirt. So Polk is going to be our second tight end anyway. The illusion of choice, as Cade Long is now out for 14 weeks. So he's going to get back at week 16, which is end of regular season is 13. We'll get a bye, conference championship. Yeah, so he'll be back for the playoffs, if I'm doing my math correctly. Okay, now Kobe Wesley going down sucks. Do I rip the red shirt off of Lance Davies? Or do I give... See, I'm worried about Joey Pruitt because one of the things I mentioned when I recruited him was I really wanted his strength to get a boost. And it just didn't. Yeah, I'm going to rip the red shirt off of Lance Davies. He's going to play. Maybe that's a bad call, but I mean, he needs to play. I'm going to keep Jacobson at 5 almost solely for the promise. He has allowed 1 sack though, so you're on my list, Jacobson. I also need to make a mental note when it comes to retaining players for transfers to just pay them because I have NIL money left over a lot. Whoa. That injury news was grim and kind of took some wind out of my sails. Oh, OSU offered scholarship to Leicester. All right, what game do I want to make? Yeah, I think Michigan. Michigan. Yeah, I think week 11 should be late enough where I don't need to worry about OSU getting me on that. You can also be Michigan. I need... Ooh, perfect. Anthony Chaney, Michigan. That should get me complimentary O-line or offense visits for those guys. Connor Boyd. You can... I'll just get an Army game going for the guys I don't really care about. Jenkins. Ooh, help out the complimentary visit. Thank you. Stephen Mayer can be Army. Tony Oliver, Army. Raphael, Army. Anyone else? Yes. Is Vandy... No, Vandy... Man. Wide receiver I'll put in Michigan to fill that out. Raul can be Army. Reese. Oh, Kyle Barton. Will I take a hit for... I'm just going to do Army. I'm 2,000 ahead. I don't need to worry about those guys. Okay. So those are the visits. All right. Who did I fall behind on? I know OSU got me on Leicester. Anyone else? No. And now we're ahead of Tennessee for Thorpe. Cool. Leicester, do you care about money? Extremely. I think the 2 players that I am more than happy to write a check for like $2 million each are Lester and Curtis. Everyone else, I would like to get just with points and a recruiting visit. I think that's my goal. But I mean, none of the JUCO guys teams are going hard on. Looks like Southern Miss offered a scholarship for Cheney. Okay. I see. Make sure they didn't offer money. All right. All things considered, not looking too shabby. Well, we thought A&M would be ranked. Unfortunately, they have gone 0 for 2 to start the year. They lost to ranked Penn State. No shame in that. Then lost to Kentucky. Their head coach is Christian Pi, who was my defensive coordinator for 2 years before he went to Bama. Or not Bama, to A&M. Well, Let's take a look at what they got. Weston Holder at QB. Yep, he was their starter last year. He's still their starter. I mean, he's doing okay. 59% completion's a little ugly, but I mean, yeah, good arm strength, good IQ. So he's not the problem. I have found the problem. Christian, did you learn nothing from being in a coaching room with me? Yeah, he's just not SEC level. Ricky Reynolds ain't bad, but his strength needs to be up. And then, yeah, again, it's the receiving backs. The AI doesn't know how to do receiving. Not a terrible wide receiver room, actually pretty solid. Ooh, they got a really good O line. Tyler Sims. Okay. Defensive coordinator prioritizing defense. Linebackers don't look bad. Corners look okay. Yeah, I mean, their offense just isn't great. I think in that case, we're going to work on stopping their passing game and our passing game. And then let me also confirm, did we get the donor goal for the yards? Yes. So that one is done and dusted. For those keeping track at home, through 2 games, we have 10 pancakes. So that means mathematically we won't get it at this rate. Because that means we need like 20 games to do it, and obviously we're not going to play that many. How many did we play last year? That was a full set. 16. Yeah, so we really need to get the pancakes going. Genuinely getting Lance Davies in with his 95 run block, that should help. Decent amount. All right, A&M, we're favored by 28 points. I have 4 recruits visiting, all of them just high potential depth guys. No, Tristan Link has solid strength and run block. And so far in the sim, A&M has only beaten Bama once. So I think we might go a little bit more run heavier than I anticipated. But if we don't get the pancakes, it's not the end of the world. What I didn't think of was because our offense scores so quickly, we won't have as many chances to get pancakes. But the defense gets a 3 and out. Thank you, lads. We're just going to run the ball a little bit here. Don't mind us. Okay, Caesar just went backwards. You're killing me, dude. Wow. I mean, credit to their defense. We were first and goal at the 3. 0-yard run, negative 2-yard run, incompletion. Man, Caesar was so good year 1. In year 2 and year 3, he's just not had it. That was a bold engage 8. Play action boot works. We're cooking. Let's run a little option. Maybe get that fired in. Really? 3rd and 2, you get 1. All right, we convert the 4th down. Get the 3rd down. We're moving. We're shaking. We have been stopped. Good news is, I think our defense is going to play well enough where, like, even if we get to 20, that should be it. Bad news is, our offense, I was about to say, hasn't been great. Francis Mack, 34-yard reception off the slants. Middleton runs it in. Defense with another stop. Carson Tam, 48 yards. Even the play action wide receiver screen worked. Javier gets us in. We're going to go for 2, and we get it. Cool. All right. Honestly, with how well our defense is playing, that should just be enough for game. I say that. Now we hold A&M to a field goal. All right. Let's run the ball a bit. There we go. Aaron Middleton, 35-yard touchdown run. That'll do. There we go. We're moving. We're shaking. Get him with the play action. Or get sacked. I guess that's also on the table. All right, Abraham made the 48-yarder. That's not nothing. Nah, not my best decision to blitz there, but we still got it back. Going pretty well. The backups are in on offense. Jesse Funk scrambling, letting it fly to Harrison Banks. It's never been so bad. Ashton Weeks. How? How far is Ashton on the depth chart? Yeah, look at our fifth running back. The transfer from Troy has arrived. Welcome to the party, sir, as we're up 38-3. I hope I don't get my former coordinator fired if he only wins like 5 games this season because he's already going to be 0-3. That would be unfortunate. For Verts, send it. It didn't work, guys. There we go. Francis Mack gets us there. And Caden Polk with the touchdown pass. You might say that I shouldn't, go for points in that situation. I should just take a knee. Counter argument, it is impossible to be a bad sportsman against the AI. And we beat A&M 45-3. Much better running day from Conrad Middleton and Dixon. Good job there. Kind of a nondescript day for Javier, but that's fine. He also got the rushing touchdown in there. Happy for him. I have a legitimate fear that Allison is going to have much worse stats this year than last year. Only 3 tackles for loss, no sacks, 0 goose egg from our defense. And that does not happen often. All right, so that game, we ran the ball nearly 50 times. Let's see how the pancakes looked. Caesar's hurt. Well, shucks. Pancakes. Oh, yeah. We got 14. Okay, yeah. There we go. There we go. That's the move. Okay. So Caesar is hurt. So easy thing is Middleton takes second spot. I mean his ball security is still a 98. I think right now I'll keep him at 3. The ball carrier vision being a 75 is a bit scary, but other than that, he's better than Harrison. So no moves there. We're okay. For the official visits, 900 to 1,000 points for all of them, and none of them committed off of that. No loyalty. But that's fine. All right. They offered money, I assume. 1 million to Leicester. And they scheduled him. And it's before me. Missouri State. You know what? If you want to schedule a non-ranked opponent, be my guest. Auburn's visit for Jesse Minor went really well. And they offered him money. Curtis, OSU offered money, but only did Target Man. Don't really know why the AI does that, but I'm not going to question it. Ooh. Ooh. That's smart by Vandy. So not only is Vandy going to get Thorpe last, they also have against an interested opponent. So if Vandy can kind of keep in the race here, and if they beat Texas, they could really slingshot up to get Thorpe. Now I kind of want to see that. Troy Boyd. Ooh, our visit is first. Okay, so we really need to get ahead on him. That might be a money situation then. I mean, it looks like everyone on this first page we should get. All right, we're second on Cheney, second on Crow. Yeah, we're fine. We're good. So yeah, we'll get a majority of these recruits without even having to fight. which is always the goal. The fact that I doubled my pancakes in one game is kind of fun. All right, snap check in. 40% for Wade. He's getting just that. 33% for Dalton. I mean, the like he's getting less than Bush because the backups have come in. That's the though Dalton should be going in with the backups, which is annoying. Polk's gonna get his 30% easy because he was only getting like 15% those the first week, so that'll be okay. And then my O linemen are obviously gonna get it. So yeah, the only one I gotta worry about is Dalton. Which, if I'm being honest, he has 95 tackling, which is awesome, but he's not that great. Should I have moved him to D line? I think that should have been the move. I should have moved him to D line and then had him be our fifth D lineman, and then Gulati would have redshirted. That should have been my move. He would have been small, but probably would have been better for him. Hmm. I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna flip Dalton and Hale for a couple games and see what that does to the percentages. But I'd much rather keep Hale. Like if it comes down to it, I keep Hale, I lose Dalton, that's fine. Okay. Florida. Hello. They're 3-0. They've beaten IU, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss. They haven't played anyone crazy. Their quarterback is Harrington, who they paid 2.5 million for and then never played him for 3 years. Yep. 96 IQ and nothing else is great. All right, the running backs. Duffy's okay. Patrick is really good. Okay. Whoa. That's some good receivers. All right. Yeah, I mean, offensively, they're below average in passing. They're really good in running. They're great at stopping the run. So, in that case, let's work on stopping their run and our passing game. I have decreed. And I think if we want to get the pancakes up, this isn't the game to run a lot. We're favored by 27. The, what's the talent difference? My offense is 7 better. Defense is 5 better. Yeesh. Also, Fresno State, number 2. Oh, OSU lost. Who'd they lose to? Oklahoma. Oklahoma, how are you going to beat OSU but then lose to Florida? Ooh, they beat Texas. That helps a lot. That makes Tennessee, not Texas, excuse me. That makes Tennessee's in conference record a lot worse because that's what killed us a couple years ago and we didn't make the SEC championship game. All right, we have 4 recruits visiting. Broussard and Boyd we're already pretty far ahead on, but Minor I would really like in my O line room. Desmond Wiggins I think can become a solid D lineman also. So far in the sim, when these teams meet in the playoffs, Florida takes it. But every other time, victory for Bama. We also beat them last year in the SEC championship game. So we have that going for us. Heads again. One of these days it's going to be tails. All right, so priority one is let's not allow a touchdown on the opening drive. We did not. They also missed the 46-yard field goal. Cool. All right. Nice 20-yard pass on 3rd and 10. Thank you much. Hit the 3rd and 4 conversion also. Got him at the yard line with the play action. Avery Leonard touchdown. Thanks for coming out. Never mind. They converted. Retract that. Ooh. Ooh, they went for it on 4th and 3 at midfield and they got it. Credit to them, but then Lawrence Mosley sacks him back. They still make the field goal, but hey. Fourth and 1 at my own 34. I am shameless. Let's run it. We got it. Conrad got us too. Cool. I am not doing a bubble screen. Doing an option. There we go. Hayden Banks gets to the 4. Jackson Conrad runs it in. Okay. We're doing pretty good. Luke Parker with the sack. Thank you, sir. Florida punts. I would like to leave them with no clock whatsoever if I can. We do score a bit quickly, though. Conrad gets in. He's already got 2 touchdowns. It's looking pretty good. Their offense is getting down the field really easily. They're just struggling to get in the end zone. He says right when they score. It's fine. All right, they missed the extra point, which, lol. There we go. Carson Tam gets me 25. I still have all my timeouts. I don't know why the AI wants me to run the ball. There we go. We get down to the 12. X point is good. I forgot to click auto manage clock for the AI to use our timeouts. That's on me. All right, now let's run the ball a little bit since we're at midfield. Try to burn a little bit of clock. How has Caesar been doing with his injury? Oh, that was only his 2nd carry. Never mind. Flood switch works. Francis Mack on the go route. They got the 3rd down again, man. They don't get that one. They make the field goal, though. What's their 3rd down conversion? They are 4 of 9. Jet sweep. Marvin Wall, 55-yard rush on the jet sweep. Bad call on the option. We went backwards. Ooh. Abraham misses a 29-yard. Oh, my. I assume at that distance it was blocked, but the game doesn't have blocked field goals and punts, so I don't know. There we go. Good tackle for a loss. They get the conversion. I just can't run zone. I think that's what I'm discovering. I think that's just the determination I've made. There we go. Caden Polk, 38 yards. Marvin Wall tackled at the 1. Distraught he must have been. They get the 3rd down again. I think if their defense was playing better, this may have been a close game. But, I mean, they have missed 2 field goals and an extra point. So if they make those, they're at 22 right now. And that's a decent offensive performance against us. They've just been utterly unable to stop us on offense. There we go. We convert on 3rd down. They're calling timeouts. And Jesse Funk throws the interception. Will Broussard picks us off. You hate to see it. Will Florida get points for pride here? No. Even though they have timeouts, they're letting the clock expire. Good part of that game, I think, is our offense did really, really well. Bad part, I mean, we held their running game to 1.6 yards a carry. However, they were 10 of 17 on third down, and they got down the field pretty easily. It was just scoring that touchdown, and they had 3 missed kicks. So, not the easiest game in the world. I think the box score is a little discerning. They threw it 55 times, for crying out loud, but Augustine, 337 yards, 2 touchdowns. Poor Jesse threw a pick. Is that the first of his career? Nah, he had one last year. Okay. Running the ball, Conrad did pretty good, as did Middleton. Caesar with his injury, though, not great. Really good from our receiving game. Allison was targeted 6 times, only had 3 catches. Okay, they never sacked us. O-line kept our QBs upright. And then obviously Abraham missed a kick also. So I don't think the game was close. Don't get me wrong, but I think it had their defense even been like a little bit better, that could have been an interesting game. But we advance the week. We move on. Jorge Peters head injury. So first, I'm going to make the switch. Harrison Shaw is going ahead of Caesar. And you're complaining about playing time. Okay. 4 games have passed. Let's do some housekeeping. Coach's office. Well, actually, first, where are we at with playing time? Wade, good. Hale, good. Dalton, getting there. Butler, good. Polk, good. Good. Cool. So the only one we have to worry about is linebacker Hudson Dalton, who, as established, if we lose him, it's not the end of the world. Okay. Draft risks. Oh, the seniors are still here. That's annoying. Okay. Draft risks. Corner Trevor Lucas, he's leaning towards school. God. Marvin Wall is leaning toward the draft. That would be a big miss, but we have a lot of young wide receivers. I think we'd be okay. Though, again, losing him would suck. Carson Tam, leaving if the early rounds. At the moment, it is the second round, so odds are we're losing Tam. Losing both Tam and Wall, we'd be counting on a lot of our guys that are like freshmen and sophomores right now, but that is what it is. Damian Wade is leaning toward the draft, the redshirt sophomore corner. That one hurts. Francisco Warren is leaving if the early rounds. I don't know if third round counts as early. I assume it does. I feel like third. I don't know. Guadalupe Hale, however, is leaning towards staying in school. Avery Leonard is leaning toward the draft. Jacobson wants to stay. Middleton, it's not going early. Okay. Well, let me tell you, losing Leonard, Tam, and Wall, that hurts. Because that's 3 of our top 4 wide receivers gone. Francisco, listen, buddy, I've already paid you. All right? Chill. Chill, bro. Just chillax. Relax, my friend, relax. All right, transfer risks. Give me the list. Oh, it's long. Francisco, that's fine. Julius Hurts. Matthews, that's fine. Joey Pruitt, whatever. Harrison Shaw, we knew that was coming. Darian Pitts, sure. Nathaniel Mosley leaving is honestly a bit expected because he's not going to play. Keller, Yoder. Ooh, Yoder leaving. Yoder leaving could be a problem. How's Clemente doing? 6 of 8 allowed. But the problem with Clemente is Nebraska paid him $200,000. I then paid him $340,000 to get in the room, and then I paid him $700,000 again just to keep him. So that could be ugly. But if I lose like 2 of my top corners potentially, I'd need both Yoder and Clemente to help make up that depth because none of the corners I'm redshirting I think will be ready to get a lot of snaps next year. That's a bit annoying. O-line guys, I mean, yeah, it's my four that aren't playing. Let me look really quick. Any of my O-line starters allowing a lot of sacks? No, it's all just one. Okay. Oh boy. Darian, buddy, between me and you, right? I don't know why the AI paid you so much money to come here, but it is what it is. I guess I could redshirt Gulati. I still have that option if I want to do it. But I think with the fact that I'm losing Ball and Peters and Parker no matter what, I'd rather see what I have in Gulati to know going forward. That's my argument. Any of my redshirters on that list? Ian Hilliard is. Well, Ian, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know really what you want from me. Because I'm bringing in a JUCO tight end. Cade Long is going to be a starter next year. I could move Hilliard to O-line. I'll make that note. But also, I don't know how much playing time he'd get at O-line either next year. We'll see. That's a problem for future me to find out. I'm going to give Harrison Shaw third running back reps for, let's call it 2 games, just to see what he's got. Because, like, I've already paid him a lot of money. I need to know if this guy's good. All right, let's do recruiting. Recruiting visits from Florida. We got 15 to 1600 for all of them. Cool. So all of them locked in. Also, Jorge Peters being injured. I did not notice. Honestly, it's 2 weeks. I'm just going to drop him down to the bottom and move Pitts and Gulati Parker up. So good results from the recruiting visit. None of the guys committed, which it annoys me, but it is what it is. Yeah, we're going to be in a fight for Lester for quite a while. But that's okay. Tennessee and Vandy offered scholarship for Thorpe. Notre Dame offered scholarship for Crow. Okay. Not looking too bad on the recruiting sphere. Where's Curtis? I mean, we're outpacing OSU on pitch alone. And we have the second visit. So that should be enough. We'll see. You never know. All right, next team up is Vandy on the road. Their QB, Warren Hawthorne, who was their same QB last year. Looks like he's doing better, which is good. A little bit of run game. Okay. Looks like a pretty well-rounded QB. Their running back room is Julian Gray in a dream, though he is currently averaging 2.8 yards a carry. Once again, don't know how, but also once again receiving back. Oh, no. Okay, they don't really have a receiving core, and one of their best guys is injured. Their O-line is both injured and bad. This guy's allowed 5 sacks. There have been 4 games, to be clear. Yes, so we're on the same page. A little bit of top end D line. Yeah, they're just. Yeah, it looks like they've had unlucky injuries and they're just not good. They beat South Carolina, but they lost to ranked Wisconsin, Mississippi State, and Texas. I foresee this being a Pretty, pretty easy win. But we have to beat Vandy to have a chance at getting the gold donor goal. Let's see how it goes. In terms of practicing, we'll just work on our passing game, stopping their passing game. But yeah, this will likely be an insane blowout. Whoa, Vandy has 10 players visiting, including Roman Poole, who looks like a pretty good man specialist corner. I hope they get him. So far in the sim, Vandy is in the same division with Bama, so they play each other every year. And as you can tell, yeah, I'll just leave that on the screen there. All right, let's get this party started against Vandy. Finally, we won the toss, and it was tails. Even the contain worked. This will be over very quickly. This game may not be safe for the young ones. Uh-oh. Okay, they sacked us on third down, held us to a field goal. It's not bad. We got the first down, though. Oh, no. The offense has come alive. They're mad. The read option. Another field goal. Ooh. Could Vandy take the lead? No. I mean, through one. I was about to say it's pretty close, and then Marvin Wall rattled off a 40-yard reception, and then we ran the ball and got stopped again. Will we win a game with nothing but field goals? Find out after these messages. Oi, Avery Leonard fumbles. Give the ball away. Defense gets the stop. Can we get in the end zone? I would like to think so. There we go. Harrison Shaw, the hero we didn't know we needed, gets a 16. I'm going to go for 2, which we get. I didn't see who got the sack there. Darian Pitts with the sack. Moving up in the depth chart. All right, they get into the field goal. I think had we not... Screw it. Timeout. Full send it. 14 yards. Okay. I think had we not gotten that touchdown just now, this could be a very, very close game. But I think now that we got that one touchdown, and with how good our defense has played, it's not going to be a contest. That's my prediction, at least. But for now, we're just going to run the ball, do a little read option. Harrison Shaw in the end zone once again. What has happened to Jackson Conrad? Oh, he has 12 carries. What's happened to Middleton? Middleton only has 5. It's potentially worrisome. That's what I get for bringing the safety back. All right. Oh, they missed the field goal. Their field goal luck has run out as Marvin Wall, 56-yard pass. We'll fake him out with the stick. Allison gets the touchdown. Cool. All right, unless Vandy scores, the backups are coming in. And the backups are in. There we go. We get the first. Jesse Funk hits him with a little razzle dazzle, and Caesar gets the touchdown. Actually, because he's injured, I'm going to move Ashton Weeks ahead of him. Evidently, the game was like, screw you, it's still going to be Caesar. Like, okay. First and goal at the 1. What's a shame about this as we get another touchdown is no one will believe the people that watch this game, but it was legitimately close for like two quarters. Like, in no way, did we play our best game. We won 45-6, but like they did pretty okay. Their offense was non-existent. Their defense did pretty okay. When did we score in the Yeah, we scored on every drive then. Their defense finally gave up in the second half. A little bit of a shame, but Javier 21 to 30, 348 yards and a touchdown. Jesse Funk 56 yards, 5 for 5 with a touchdown. Harrison Shaw did really well. 10 carries, 75, two touchdowns. You like to see it. Their QB threw less than 50% completion. I hear that's not good. Only two sacks from our defense, but when that's your main complaint, I think you're okay. But I hope Vandy goes on a run and wins some games. Well, that's a lot of injured players. And they're all leg injuries for multiple weeks. Okay. Let's do the easy one first. Bellamy is going to drop. Yeah, I'm just going to have Hutchinson come in. Bellamy drops to 4. And what were the other ones? Trevor Bush at linebacker. Yeah. Honestly, he's a true freshman. He's been playing pretty good, but his numbers did just take a big hit. I'm going to move him to inactive and see if he complains about playing time. And then Julius McNeil and Joe Matthews will all get bumped up. I think that's okay. Yeah, okay. I think I need to choose Dalton or Hale. Which one do I prioritize? And I think the answer is Hale. I think that's the move. I think we're gonna accept the fact that yeah, like Hale is putting up really great numbers and he's doing more better in coverage. So I think we're just gonna accept that Dalton might not get his 40% carries that he wants. I'm gonna move Trevor Bush to inactive for a few weeks. That way McNeil and Matthews can get some run. And then the last injury was Luke Parker. Man. Our defensive line depth was already kind of sweating. Honestly, with his ratings, you're staying put, buddy. 5 weeks, though. I think that'll be okay. Because Jorge Peters is going to move above him, so he'll drop down to 4 after next week. I think that's fine. And then I think after the bye, I'll move Caesar back to 3. Because I think to get Harrison the snaps he wants, he's going to have to play a lot more. Do I just pay him again? That would be hilarious. Hmm. I'll figure it out. All right, we have our first 3 commits, and it's all just, Michael Huff, high potential linebacker, Tyro Rhodes, high potential running back. He is a receiving back. We'll set that aside. And we get athlete Troy Boyd, who I think is going to develop into a pretty good linebacker. If his potential ticks up, we could really be in business because he's just a solid mid 70s and everything linebacker. Those, they don't hurt. No one else wants to schedule a visit. No. Okay, hit me. Oi, Mississippi State offered up $90,000 to Raul Irving. Tennessee had their visit with Thorpe. They lost, but because it was a good game, they still got 880 points. Okay. Southern Miss. Oh, their visit was a couple weeks ago, but they got 935. All right. Good on you, Southern Miss. Okay. I'm not going to offer money to a guy who's going to be a backup kicker. Like, if we don't get him, we don't get him, and we just like, yeah, that's fine. Notre Dame 840 for their win at Navy. It's pretty good. OSU is offering more money to Curtis. I think we're okay. OSU, they're going to leapfrog us after their recruiting visit. So it might be worth offering, let's just say, like if I do 1 million, that gets me an 827 point pitch. That means OSU would need a 1,400 point game. That might be too much. So I think I'll just write him a check for 1 million. And if that ends up not being needed, so be it. Well, no, 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 no. I'll do that after the visit. Hmm. Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait and do it after the visit. If Missouri State wants to go ahead and pull off an upset, I will be very happy. Just throwing that into the universe, really. Man, remember last year when we went through with like barely any injuries, and this year just dropping like flies? Hey. I think actually, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. Parker is gonna go inactive for like 2 weeks. Jorge Peters is going back up to third. That's my move. Because that way, Peters only has to play the game, and then Parker will have 2 weeks off from his injury, and then I'll put him back in the lineup after that for 3 weeks. Similarly, actually, with Bellamy, I'll move him to inactive and then rip the red shirt off of Roberson so that he can be our fourth safety if needed. And that way, Bellamy only misses a game because next week's our bye week. Cool. It has been decreed. Man, we have a lot more draft risks than last year, I think. Okay, Army. 3-1. They've beaten Iowa, Charlotte, and Tulane. They lost to number 15 SMU. They have a very good defense against the pass. Top 5 on attempt. Okay. Okay. Average offensively. Nothing. Yeah, it just looks like they have a pretty stout defense. They still have David Casson at QB. How did he do against me last year? 24-32, pick, and a fumble. Okay. But now he's gotten even better. All right. Well, they're so good against the pass. Naturally, we have to work on that, and then we'll stop their passing. We'll see how this goes. All right, Army. Prepare yourselves for defeat. Hopefully. You never know. They did make playoffs last year. We are favored, however, by almost 23 points. But aside from that, we'll see. All right, we have 7 recruits visiting. Only one of them is a tight race, and that's because Mississippi State just decided they wanted to offer money to a kicker. Fair enough. A kicker whose playing time for them, by the way, a C plus. Why is the play time for my kicker an A plus? What does the game know that I don't? He wasn't on the draft risks, was he? Abraham? No. What does the game know that I don't? Am I going to be losing my Abraham? Excuse me. What? What does the game know? Anyway, he's the only close recruit. Hopefully, seeing as I'm already 3,000 plus points ahead on every other recruit, after this win, I'll get 6 fresh commitments. Will that happen? Probably not. We beat Army last year 45-30 in a kind of sort of shootout. Trying to remind myself of that game. Oh yeah, that was Burks throwing 5 touchdowns and beautiful offensive showing. All right, let's rock and roll. Army calls tails. They know. Army defers. Well, shucks. No, I'm not going to do a read option on the very first play. So I am tempted. I'm going to do a wide corner. And then I'm going to do a deep attack. We're just going to run the ball. There we go. Middleton. Touchdown. Easy. Uh-oh. Well, they've gotten a first down on every play so far. But we stop them in the red zone. It's a field goal. Why would I do 4 verts? How dare you? Triple option. It worked. Never punished. There we go. Already in the red zone. And Middleton runs it in again. Jackson Conrad denied of touchdown opportunities once again. Oh boy. Our defense they're looking a little shaky. To be fair, we do have injuries at almost every single position on defense. So that is to happen. We don't convert the 3rd and 1 though. Screw it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Middleton gets us 2. All right. Cha goes backwards, and we don't convert the 3rd down. Field goal. Send the house. It worked. All right. Can we get another touchdown before time expires? Answer, maybe. I'm keeping shoe clock on just for the challenge. Wow. That was infinitely quicker than I thought it would be. Hayden Banks, touchdown. Boom. So I don't think this game's going to end up being close. I have that sneaking suspicion. They also miss a field goal to end it, which, rough. But that is what it is. Good stop by the defense. Oi, and Middleton with our first running back fumble of the year. Oh, boy. All right. Fortunately, it happened in a game where I don't think that fumble will come back to haunt us. It is, however, just annoying. I'm not going to attempt a 52-yarder. There we go. Screw it. I don't care that you're in trips. Send the house. Who knew they would do a quick pass? There we go. Hudson Dalton with the sack. The jet sweep didn't really work, but that's okay. And Marvin Wall gets us the touchdown. The backups are now in. And Julius McNeil forces and recovers his own fumble. As he's a man of action, as Ashton Weeks runs it in. Thank you, sir. Uh-oh. Our backup defense is getting shredded. They failed to stop them. What a shame. Hmm? Oh boy, that was a massacre. They drove down the field so fast. How long was that drive even? Yeah, 9 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes. They torched as a captain. Deep shot to the end zone. Well, we got the touchdown. I feel kind of bad now. Anyway, we beat Army 44-10. Is that disrespectful to the men and women in uniform? I don't quite know, but we get the touchdown nonetheless. Augustine, great day. 19-23, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns. Probably the best running day we've had, must be said. It's also the day that Caesar doesn't do any running. Coincidence? Correlation? Causation? Who knows? 2 touchdowns for Banks, 1 for Wall. We may have the greatest wide receiver ever in Hayden Banks. It must be said. Middleton did have the fumble, but that is what it is. Only 1 sack from our defense. Yeah, I think that's the area where the injuries, we have 2 D-line injuries, 1 linebacker injury. That's where they're coming up. We just haven't gotten the sack production that we're used to. But that's okay. That is what it is. It is what it is. All right, Jorge Peters is back from his injury, and he is right where he should be. Says all good. Look at Gulati getting 70%. 70% snaps as a true freshman. My God. All right, we got 1,200 to 1,300 points from everyone, and these clowns didn't commit. Useless. Useless men. All right, we got 3 commits. Raphael Miles, we already talked about the QB. Tony Oliver, just, below average wide receiver with okay potential. He could become something good. And with the fact that I might lose 3 wide receivers to the draft, we need depth. And then Stephen Meyer, great man coverage. Nothing else is good. YOLO. That's a YOLO one for you. All right. Ooh, Notre Dame closing in on Stephen Crow. Our visit isn't until the 11th. Okay. All right, there's your move. So they destroy Missouri State. 650 points, though, I feel is low. So we're now 1,200 behind. If I offer $1 million, similarly to what I thought about doing for Curtis, they didn't even catch me on Curtis because they only got 650. That's insane. All right, so I don't think I'll offer Curtis anything until I see what kind of pitches OSU do for him in the future. Lester, I'm going to offer $1 million just to catch up. and kind of stay close. Because my recruiting visit isn't until week 11, and there's always the risk he commits before that. I don't think he will, but you never know. You never know, do you? You never know. All right, let me give all my pitches out. I'm once again asking that recruits that I am 3,000 plus ahead on and no other teams are doing pitches should automatically commit to me. Just saying. That seems like a thing that should exist, in my humble opinion. All right. Hopefully, no one got injured in the bye week. I know that's not really a thing, but you're just like. Well, all right. Bellamy is back. So Roberson, red shirts. In one game, he got a tackle. That'll do. And then Bellamy can go back to being 18 tackles, 4 breakups, 10 tackles, 3. What's Bellamy at? 7. I'll keep it like this. That's okay. All right. And then Luke Parker, I want to make active again. And we're just going to move him under Pitts. Sorry, Darian. I'm sorry. But I don't think you're long for this team. It must be said. What else? I mean, here's the unfortunate thing. Or Caesar. He's a good running back, but like Harrison Shaw is just doing pretty dang good. I kind of want to keep that going. We'll see. I'll definitely move him ahead of weeks. Yeah. Like that just simply needs to happen, irregardless of everything else. All right, we have 2 commits: Desmond Wiggins, A plus potential D lineman, and Jesse Minor, A minus potential 4-star O lineman, run block specialist. All right, anything crazy happen in the bye week with points? Doesn't look like it. We're now only down to 1 page. Ooh, OSU also offered money. Okay. Cool. And OSU is only doing a good pitch for Curtis. Okay. So, I think mathematically then, everyone on this list should be ours. Unless Mississippi State takes us for Raul Irving, the kicker. I'm still a little nervous for why it said A plus playing time when I have Abraham High, whose overall is currently like 15 points higher than his. If I'm being honest, that does have me a little bit worried that maybe I need Irving more than I think I do. If I offer him like above his market value, that gets me almost 1,000 points. So, whoops, I never offered Lester. You silly game. Why'd you make me do that? What's the best pitch I can give? DC Ace. Why did the game make me do that? I don't know. Okay, so right now I'm not going to increase my money to Lester. I'm just going to let it sit at 1 million and see how close I stay just with the pitches. All right, our final game today is going to be against Ole Miss. They are currently 1-5, it must be said. Their only win against Rutgers, then they lost 4 SEC games in a row, and they just lost to Clemson. Not going great. Oh, no. So they're bottom 5 in rushing. They're bottom 10 in pass yards per attempt. They just have no offense, is what you're telling me. That's all just the screen is telling me. Who's their QB? Logan Keenan, who currently has 6 picks, a fumble, and 54% completion. It's not very good. Their running back room, 2.3 yards a carry, 1.9 yards a carry. Offensive line. So Roy Hicks, who I let transfer after the first year, looks like went to Ole Miss, and he promptly gave up 11 sacks last season. Suffice to say, I made the correct decision. Other than that, I mean, they're playing like a redshirt freshman, Davion Eaton, who's bad. Yeah, this game. How much did we put 70 on Mizzou? I think we got this. We're going to work on stopping their run game for the hilarity of it and our passing game. Actually, no. Let's not be silly. I don't think we need any help stopping their run game. All right, we're favored by 38 points. They have 9 recruits visiting Oxford, including a 59 overall D potential alignment and a kicker. Yep. So far in the sim, Bama 7-0 against the Rebels. Tails never fails. You know it. I know it. The game knows it. We will defer. I will happily defer. Lawrence Mosley with the sack. I'm never doing cover 4 quarters again. I hate cover. I want to just remove it from the playbook so I don't even have to think about it. Trent Wright with the nice kick. 50-yarder. All right. Ole Miss is on the board. Horrendous kickoff return from Carson Tam there. And we don't convert. Ole Miss came to play. They heard what I said about Vandy. They're up 10-0. It's time to get serious. Not that I wasn't serious before. And Javier is sacked. But we get the conversion on 3rd and 8. That'll do. Jet sweep is for the devil, but that's fine. Hayden Banks touchdown. Okay. I wasn't nervous at all. What do you mean? Oh, boy. What a silly game football is, huh? We blitzed on 3rd and 6, and it worked. There we go. Good runs. Great runs. Even better pass. There we go. Javier gets in the QB sneak, ready taking the lead back. That's why I wasn't really worried. And Damian Wade forces the fumble. Leo Ball recovers. We can't get in the end zone to save our actual life. There we go. Thank you, Middleton. Okay. And now everyone can exhale. I'm honestly just going to run the ball a little bit. He says before doing 2 passes. It's fine. Uh-oh. Okay. Ole Miss got the touchdown to make it a 4-point game. Yeah, we're just going to run it. Okay. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. That was about as bad a first half of defense we have played in a decent while. And it's against a team that I cannot stress enough is one of the worst in the country in running the ball. So that's where we're at, just mentally. Keep that in mind. We got 1 yard again. I'm never doing the stretch with 2 yards to go because it seems like we only ever get one. Fake him out with the stick. Didn't work. We got sacked. The run went backwards, but Avery Leonard over the top. 11 points. Why do I keep blitzing your ass, you ask? Because I know no other way of life. There we go. Hudson Dalton with the sack. They convert on 3rd and 3, though, and get in the end zone again. Back to a 4-point game. Aaron Middleton, 46-yard run. That'll do. Jackson Conrad, 0-yard game. Okay. A touchdown and an extra point. They tie up the game. 4th and 2, though, they drop the Hail Mary pass. Sacked again. Man. Defense picked picked an interesting time to just die. Whoo! They don't get the conversions. Okay. Now, we are going to try the age-old practice of just running the clock out. Ready, break. Conrad gets the first. We're down to under 4 minutes. They're using their timeouts. That's okay. We'll kick a field goal. All right. They have under 2 minutes to get 10 points. How much time did that drive even burn? 5:19. Could have been better. The nickel blitz didn't work. This will stun you to learn. Well, 60-yard pass on 4th and 10, huh? Fair enough. I'm still going to blitz. Just because if we sack them, that'll burn a lot of clock. But we don't. They get the slants in. 3-point game. We recover the onside kick. I could kneel, or I could tempt fate and run the ball a little bit. All right. We beat Ole Miss 34-31, a very close game to end today's video. I am stunned at how close that was. They threw 51 passes. My God. And I mean, I think the big reason why we didn't have that much success is simply they had solid success on 3rd down, and they had 4 plays of 20 yards or greater. I mean, the yards per play, everything was pretty even. Like, where we had success running the ball on offense, they just passed it and passed it and passed it. And so they didn't burn a lot of clock, I think is the other reason. We also got very little production from our tight ends offensively. Marvin Wall had 6 targets, only 3 catches. Like, that hurt. 5 sacks, pretty good, and we got the fumble. But man alive. I didn't expect that game to be close, I'll be honest, and it went right down to the wire. Though, interestingly, like the win probability never dipped below like 92. So, what an odd game that was. But we get the win. And a win is a win. #analysis. You'll be surprised to know Marvin Wall's out 6 weeks. Come on, man. Well, that really hurts, especially if he's going for the draft. Like, I mean, that's the rest of the regular season, and that's SEC championship game. We lose Marvin. Man, he was on track to beat his numbers from last year, too. Okay. So we're going to drop to 5 wide receivers. Francisco Mack, Askew, and Leonard are all going to bump up in the pecking order. Do I rip the red shirt off of Lance Kahn? I don't think I do. I think I just go down to 1 less receiver. Because these guys are good enough where they can hold down the fort. I think. Askew has 98 speed. That'll get him a long way. I think we'll be okay. What was the other injury I saw? Francisco quit injuring my linebackers. It is a head injury. I'm honestly, everyone wants to play them. Yeah, for 2 weeks, I'm going to drop Warren for 2 games. And then Trevor Bush is upset about playing time, which is your right. But I'm a little annoyed by it. I mean, you're injured, dude. I wish players like with minor injuries they wouldn't be affected by the whole playing time nonsense, but that is what it is. I mean, he'll slide to 5, I guess. He really should be below Joe Matthews right now. Like his ratings are horrendous. I'll move him ahead of Matthews. Ugh. Painful. Painful, painful, painful. Well, on that slightly ominous, weird note, that is it for this video. We will pick up next week, finish out the regular season against Tennessee, Oklahoma, Michigan, Kentucky, and Auburn. At the moment, we're obviously projected to make the SEC championship game. It looks like it could be Texas on the other side, could be Mississippi State, Georgia, Florida, perhaps. We will see. But we are 7-0. We have done our job all the way through. So, pretty exciting games. We've been hit massively hard by the injury bug this season, but nonetheless, we're still rolling on. We're still winning. No complaints there. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.